Indian cross country team. Coach Godbee, appreciate you being on the show tonight. Thank you for coming on and
Thank
talking
you.
to us.
Yes,
Coach,
thanks for having me.
Oh, very, very welcome. For those of you who don't know, Coach Godbee is the head boys and girls cross country coach of Vidalia. She's basically built the program up to where it is now, which is the boys are ranked as high as number 2 in some polls, correct, Coach?
They were cross country. Well, in track we got second at state last year, so we'll see what this year brings. In cross country, we're hoping to make the podium, so top 3 or 4 maybe. We'll see.
Well, Coach is doing a great job with you. What highlights your guys and girls this year? Tell us who we're looking at, what grades they're in, and if they're looking at going to the next level and what they're doing.
Okay, do you want to talk about track or cross country? What are we?
Cross
or
country.
A little bit of both. Cross country.
We'll do track in spring.
Okay, all right. Well, this is what we have for track, for cross country. We've got a lot of good kids. Got a lot of boys returning, so we're not as young this year as we were last year. We have Luke Palmer from last year who went on to Troop McConnell to run, and he did very well last year. We're looking at Sarah Owen, who also went to Troop McConnell to run, and we had Jalen Madison on the track team that went to Bruton Parker to hurdle. So this year in cross country, we opened up pretty big with we won the meet at the Peach State Preview, and Jeff Davis. We didn't win as a team, but individually brought home the champ with Seth McGregor, who had a 45-second PR. Last year was his first year in Vidalia, coming from homeschool, and he did exceptionally well. Andrew Hodges is running very strong. He didn't have a great race last week, but he had a strong race. He's still way ahead of where he was at this time last year. We got 2 solid freshmen coming with Larson Carter, and we have Cash Driggers. They look really well, and sophomore Shamley Evans looks great. So our boys team, we've got so much developing right now. They're very, very strong, and they're very fun to watch and to train. Our girls side, we started off last week with just 2 girls, but they're solid girls. Georgia Meredith is a sophomore, and she won the race, I think, by close to 2 minutes. She almost broke 21 minutes, and she had a 45-second PR. So Georgia's very, very strong, and she's just tough. She's one of those kids that she's going to hit her pace, and she's going to suck it up, and she's going to be so tough. She did a great job. We have another young runner as a sophomore, Aaliyah Ajoda, and she's way ahead of where she was last year. But just this week, we got 4 more runners. So they're new runners. They're new to cross country. I run every step with them every day, but they're strong and they're tough. And I think we're going to pull this off. Our goal is to make it to state and see what we can do on the girls' side.
Well, that's great, Coach. Now, I've watched the last couple of years how you built this. It wasn't like you came into this where it was a bunch of kids out there. It's obvious you have built this program. What are some of the things that you did to get kids out to join cross country? Because running is just not fun.
It's not fun. It's very hard, and it's hot, and it's mentally challenging. Not just physical, it's mentally tough too. So when I started, the whole group that was with the previous coach stayed with me for 1 year. We went to state that year, and they decided that they were just going to jog the course because they were state, and we got 29th at state that year, my first year coaching, and I truly didn't understand that mentality. So the following year, I talked to my track kids and said, listen, if you're not playing a fall sport, you're not going to get slower because you run cross country. You're going to get mentally stronger. And if you're a sprinter, we'll run a little bit a distance, but we'll also do some speed work in between. So you're getting a little bit of both, and you're preparing yourself for track and for indoor, because we do 1 indoor meet. And they bought in, and they saw the results right away. I mean, even Courtney Madison, who still holds the state record in the 100-meter hurdles, she ran cross country, and she still broke the record and at the state meets in the 100-meter hurdles and still holds it. It's 14 flat. So the theory of, oh gosh, you run distance, you're going to be slow in sprinting is not true. You're going to be stronger, but you have to be trained correctly. They can't put in 40 and 50 miles a week. You have to bump their mileage down and let them do what they love, which is speed work. So we got to incorporate that. And that's kind of how we got them to come out. And soccer players saw last year that Daniel Hodges ran cross country and he scored the winning goal in the playoffs and he never left the field. So they noticed that my cross country kids are playing more on the soccer field. So now I'm getting some soccer kids to buy into cross country, which is a big deal.
Yes. So now a big thing this year has been reclassification with the double A's, single A's. I mean, it's been a big deal. So what are some of the things you have saw that's, you know, has come about because of reclassification, which really destroyed, or I'm not going to say destroyed, but greatly changed double and single A?
It did change double and single A. Right now, I'm most concerned for my girls. I have a very good runner, Georgia Meredith. She's a sophomore. She's almost to go under 21. She's running very, very well. But we have Savannah Arts Academy to compete against. And they have 7 girls that are very strong distance runners. So that's a problem. I mean, if they have all 7 girls running that, my one girl, if I don't field a good team, may not make it to state. And I think she's a quality runner and deserves a shot of being there. So that's my one giddy up. The boys will be okay, whether they win region or not. They'll make a run and they'll make it to state and they'll do well. Our region, we don't have Jeff Davis in our region. So I think our boys will probably fare a little better this year. You know, it's always head to head with Jeff Davis. Last year, they brought it on the boys' side and they got us pretty good. But normally we can compete with them and it's always kind of close. So it's a good rival. And I have so much respect for the coaches, for Coach Wood and Coach Allen. They're great coaches. They're positive. We cheer each other's kids on, and we know each other's kids' names. So that's something new. I'm only really going to know the Toombs kids. I'm not going to know a lot of other kids. So the friendly rivalry, although it may fare better for us, it's just going to be different. We're going to have to make some adjustments. A lot of new teams that we don't necessarily see that often.
Right. And so, you know, it's basically, as Coach Allen said last week, it's wide open this year. Well, maybe we saw Athens Academy, then I think, I think you thought they were pretty good, but so he did say it was wide open, which was very exciting to him. So, you know, there was some really positive things about it. Now, I've got to see you in track and how you built your program there and how you guys have done this. Very, very respectful of what you do. We're very respectful and very, very high. You do a great job. High quality kids. Kids do things the right way. So tell us a little bit about some of the things that you build your program on. What are some of the things that are your beliefs that you want your kids that come through Vidalia to know when they leave you?
Well, some things I want them to know when they leave me is that I loved you dearly. They're all my kids. I mean, whether they're on the track or on the football field or on the basketball field or basketball court, they're all my kids. I love them all. And my kids at home have had to share a lot. I want them to know they're stronger and tougher because they've made it through what they've made it through. We have a lot of challenges in Vidalia, like most places have, especially our Title I schools. But one thing that we've built this program on is last year we came out, and it actually came from a church sermon, is be transformed. And I looked at these kids and I'm like, we have to be transformed. We cannot keep doing what we're doing and expect to make a difference at a state meet or at high competition. We have to buy in every single day and transform yourself in each and every workout, from what you think you can do to what you will do to what you're capable of doing. And they all bought in. I saw a level of grit and fight in these kids that I've never seen before, even down to the state meet. We were not supposed to be in the run like we were. And they fought tooth and nail. We were still leading going into the 2 mile. And Pace Academy had 3 D1 2 milers. Then they all 3 placed pretty highly, and we didn't have a scorer. I made a mistake on our mile relay with my lineup order. And it cost us a little bit, but had I kept things the way they were going into state, we wouldn't even made it to the finals. And I knew that. So we made some adjustments. I just wish that I would have put an older kid as anchor leg, but my anchor leg was a champ. He knew that John Catherine was anchor leg and coming after him. He went out a little too fast and he died. But I'd rather him take that risk than not take a risk at all. He gave it all he had. So I did make some bumps. We had some bumps there. But one thing I also love about track and field, and it's the way you teach elementary school or any school, is we individualize instruction, we individualize coaching. This is not a go run program. You show up. We have our sprinter group, long sprinter, short sprinter group. We have our jumpers, high and long. Pole vaulters usually have to kind of go off site to get a little extra help because I don't know pole vault that well. Throwers have individual workouts, and then my hurdlers see me at least twice a week. So we individualize everything to make sure every event is getting attention and getting some specialization. And honestly, I run it like I did my workouts in college. I was a heptathlete in college. And even though that was 7 events, it was the 7 core events. You had your jumpers. I had jumping, sprinting, middle distance, and throwing. So that's kind of how we set up our weekly workouts. And I get a spreadsheet, my coaches get a spreadsheet, and everyone has to do their part. Out there, not necessarily on their own, but I have to be here today, and this is your workout, and someone has to lead. Who's my leader today? So I rely heavily on leadership. And last year, it paid off. There have been years where I couldn't get someone with fidelity and intensity. So, that's kind of how I look at it and attack it going in. And it's time consuming, sometimes it's exhausting, but I feel like everybody gets what they want and they get better at what they.
Well, that's great, Coach. I think your audio is messed up a little bit.
Is it? Can you
You're
not
good
hear
now.
me?
No, you're good now.
Yeah. Okay. Do you need me to redo any of that? I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good, Coach. So what are some
Okay.
of the things that you hope to get done this year with Vidalia cross country, and what's the plans for the future?
Okay. For the future, I've got my middle schoolers have grown. My middle school team has grown significantly this year. And actually, they just keep coming. I had a new one come out today. So with the middle school program, I need them to buy in and love what they're doing and come out this summer. And I think the kids that have come out so far are going to do that. They seem to love it. Their parents love it. So I think we're going to get that support. With the high school team, I have, let's see, in my top 7, I only have 1 senior. And then over all of my boys, I have 4 seniors, but the scorers are really, I just have 1. So we're a pretty young team. I would like to see them continue to grow and develop. Seth, the senior, should be in the 17s. Andrew Hodges should be in the 17s. Georgia should go in the 20s. Georgia's tough enough. I wouldn't be surprised if she's low 20s, possibly sub 20, especially by the time she graduates. I would love to see my boys make the podium. They have not made the podium at state since I've been here. I would really like to take a girls team to state. And when we first started the season, I had 2 girls and just kind of had to keep the faith. And our administration, our new principal, Mr. Mulkey, our superintendent, Dr. Wilcox, and Tommy Daly rallied for me and went and talked to a lot of girls. And even our former principal, John Sharp, he found some girls for me and started recruiting them because I'm at the elementary school and we got more out. So hopefully they're going to buy in and continue to grow and develop. And they've done a really good job in 1 week. we'll see where we can get them. They're tough kids, so we'll see what we can do.
Well, Coach, we really appreciate you talking to us tonight, and been very enlightening, and wish you all the best of luck, and thanks again for talking with us, and good luck this season.
Absolutely. Thank you for thinking of us, and good luck to y'all, and I appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you. Coach Godbee, have a good day.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.